Hello Tanis,
Hello, Lilou.
comment ça va?
C'est bon. Et toi? Et vous?
Very well, Tanis, thank you. So you are based in Vancouver, around Vancouver area. I just discovered your work. That is absolutely amazing and profound. You're a spiritual teacher, you're a mentor, you're an author, and you just wrote this book that is not yet published in English, but it's called Conversation avec l'esprit du corps humain, which is the conversation with the body spirit. Huh?
Yes,
And,
exactly.
and the information in it and what you were able to, can we say channel?
Not really. The thing is that what I do is I am completely conscious, just like our conversation right now. So I could speak to masters or angels or something else. I don't have to close my eyes or become something else. For me, I was born like this. And I've always been able to see and hear other dimensions and dead people, whatever. And I had to learn as a child to create my own veil so that I can walk normally, speak normally, and not tune into that radio station. I can only just now we tune into our radio station between you and me.
That's pretty amazing that you were able to understand that at a young age, because many people have totally turned it off until adult when they finally had another incident or something quite difficult, and then they reopen that gift. Can we say it's a gift? How do you see that?
Well, it is a gift, but I believe this is part of our human potential and that all of us have it. And that, as you said, we were born like this. And most people, like little children, talk about their invisible friends, and their parents say, oh, yes, okay, you have this little friend. Shall we make tea for this friend? But they are playing along with the child, where the child really has these friends. But when they go to school,
Yeah.
the veil comes down. And then if they escape at that point, and sometimes they still escape until puberty, and then for sure, then the veil comes down. But mine never came down.
Yeah. Amazing. So here we're at, we're living some major crisis, human crisis, can we say, around the world. You call it the dark night of the soul, individually and collectively, that we're going through. It's a huge initiation program, can we say, that you talk about it in this book, which at first we don't really we think it's just a conversation with the body, with body spirit, but in the end it's all this information on what we're going through, and on how the body has all this intelligence and this knowledge connected to the source. How did you, first of all, how did this book come to you, and how did you got in contact with Henry?
Henry, well, yes, because the other name for this book in English is Good Morning, Henry. And I met my own body spirit when I was in my 30s. And I was on retreat in Ireland, hoping to become enlightened. And there I was meditating, all very profound. And all of a sudden, I realized there was another consciousness inside me, which wasn't me. And this consciousness, this body intelligence, was helping me to erase my old programs, my old thought forms. The things we inherit, our life scripts from our parents, from our society. So it helped me. And then I've off and on worked with this over the years. But what happened was 7 years ago, all of a sudden I heard, now you have to write this book. you know, this is going to happen. And I would start for 1 year and then I would have to stop. I couldn't write anymore because I hadn't transformed enough in myself to write it. So then I'd write another book, and then I'd write again on conversation. Finally, 7 years later, after so many rewrites, it birthed itself. And I think, as we were talking before we got on the interview, there is a timing in the world. And you honor that timing, and I honor that timing. And so it felt like now, with the dark night of the soul that the whole world is going through with this health crisis, but even if it wasn't the health crisis, as you know, Lilou, it's the environmental crisis, and it's throwing us into humans into an identity crisis.
Mm.
And we're shut up in ourselves right now, and there's so much separation.
Mm-hmm.
And so these, you call it the dark night of the soul, and that's what we call it in the world, but really it's the dark night of the personality. The soul is just fine.
Yeah.
But our personality's having a very bad time.
Yeah. Yeah. And this happens as much collectively as individually.
I believe it does. And people have always gone through dark nights of the soul when they were moving through their spiritual progress.
Yep.
This was, an organic, natural thing that would happen, but not collectively like this. It's like now that we've entered the Aquarian age and we are getting higher frequencies coming in from the galactic center, which the scientists call the galactic center. I call it the great central sun, our creator. It's the same thing, of course. We're getting these increased frequencies, which are putting more pressure on the earth to evolve to its higher dimension. And we, being cells in the body of the earth, how can we not be affected? So
Exactly.
we also are being catalyzed.
Yeah. So some people have different things that happen to their body to adjust to those frequencies. You know, some people have headaches, feel like they drank, they did not, and they feel. I mean, there's all kind of things that are happening to our body to adjust. How much can we handle? How much high frequency can we handle? How high is it gonna go? And I heard it might drop all of a sudden at the end of the year. Tell us what information you receive.
That's all people need to think about, is that it could get worse at the end of the year, but it is possible because I think that humans have created a lot of karma, which is not desirable karma, over the millennia that we have been evolving. And so all of this, as we are changing and moving to a higher frequency, it's very natural. We have to purify this. This is our karma. So we've come into the purification stage where we have to examine, and that's what a conversation or Good Morning Henry is all about. How do we purify individually? Because there is no karma, basically, individually, that people don't have collectively. There have always been wars. There's always been violence and greed and abandonment. And we're not only the victims, if we're thinking we're self-righteous and it's not us, we're the victims. We've been the perpetrators in other lives.
Yes.
So we have done it all.
Yes.
And so what we take responsibility for ourselves in purifying It helps not only our family, our immediate family, but the ancestors that go back in time, because as you know, there's no such thing as time in other dimensions that we're moving to. So we're purifying the whole genetic link, and it goes back through humanity, the collective unconscious of humanity. So to do this doesn't just help us in our future evolution, it helps erase the entire past program. So this is where we're moving to.
Yeah,
This,
but how much can we handle? Because it feels like some souls are checking out and deciding to depart before it gets really difficult. Because it seems like we're just in the beginning of it, of
yeah,
this initiation. It feels we're not even in the middle of it yet, and
I
some
agree.
souls are already deciding to depart quite fast, and it's a bit scary. And a lot of therapists and practitioners seems to be initiated to accompany more and more souls to depart. And this transition and all this, it's what's your take on this? What information do you get from Henry and others, being that you have around?
I have a strong belief that we are never given more than we can deal with.
Yeah.
However, we have free will.
Mm-hmm.
We are kindergarten creators. We're gods in training. So we have free will to choose.
Mm-hmm.
So people can choose to depart in an active way, like you're saying, maybe through suicide. We could. But some people depart passively by just moving into despair and hopelessness and giving up. And this is also suicide. So I think, we are here to embrace the challenge
Yeah.
and to trust spirit. Spirit knows how much each of us can handle. There's not an accident. Why do we think we know better?
Yeah.
How can we think this?
So what is the best posture to or request? Is it to request? Is it to ask? Is it to come internally or outwardly to ask for support and help to transition or to know better what's really going on? Because as you say, our mind is not really getting what's happening. So
Ah,
what should we turn towards? You suggest turning internally, but it's also helping us to have a better comprehension of the word in our own life and how to handle this. So, what do you suggest? What posture? What intention? Or what question should we ask?
yes, that's a really good question. What attitude should we have towards this? I think it's deep trust. I think that we need to trust ourselves that we are enough.
Hmm.
And we have to trust spirit that it knows the best for us. I think it's a deep trust in our own Henry, who, as you know, our body intelligence, our body spirit turns out to be the Holy Spirit. It's the Divine Mother. It's the God in us.
Hmm.
It is our spiritual connection. And to feel humanity or me or you, we have come to the place in our collective evolution where we are ready to make the next step.
Mm-hmm.
If not, how come this is happening?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I think this is the thing, and people have to get past their old limited beliefs of, oh, not me, poor me, I'm not enough. There's all these scarcities that we have about ourselves, feeling a lack of self-worth.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas, Jesus said, look at the lilies of the field, and and they are so beautiful and they don't have to do anything. My Father loves them. And to feel once again this we are loved. We are loved. And to act out of this, I think.
So you're saying we have to get out of the way.
Yeah, out of our fears. As you know in the book, it's about how do people confront their inner tyrants, their fears, the little walls they build around themselves that keep them from their true, authentic nature, their real potential. I think this is it. We have to all at some point confront this, to break out of this shell and be born. I talk about we're like little chickens in the egg, and now we're going through this birth into higher frequencies to develop our real potential. That's what the Aquarian age is about. Every 2,000 years we have a symbol of what humanity's to do. And the symbol of the Aquarian age is the enlightened human who pours the water of life onto the earth. So we are meant to be the guardians of this beautiful planet. But to do this, we have to take a responsibility.
Yeah, the basis of this living, or how to live in this new form of humanity or new world or to deal with the situation, there seems to be some how do I say, some new foundation or new guidelines for being able to be those beings. Like the foundations are not the same than what what we're used to, you know. So what are those? So it's being intuitive, it's listening, it's letting spirit guide us.
This is a very good point. In the Piscean age, the 2,000 years we've left, and even the Taurian age before this, yeah? Or no, the Aryan age before that, and then the Taurian age. In all these last 6,000 years, what are we developing? The ego. We are learning how to be independent. Go forward, conquer the world, conquer our neighbors, stand up for ourselves, say, ha ha ha. Well, fine, we learned how to be independent. Now, do we need to learn this anymore? I don't think so. Now we need to learn in this next time to be interdependent. So this is to not only be able to speak our truth, it's to listen to the truth of others. We are a global community now. You're in France, I'm in Canada, but we know we are a global community, and we have to come to this place where we recognize deep listening to each other around the world is the way that we will move forward because we cannot ignore anybody anymore.
Yeah.
No religion can we ignore, no gender, no color, no race, no country.
But you in the book, Henry talks also about the trees, nature, the gnomes, elves. I mean, all the elementals. So I'm talking about this not fine tuning, but this tuning into this other frequency, to listening differently, how to listen differently, how to be open enough and see and know that this is real, and we can be guided by Gaia, we can be guided by those elementals, we can be guided by all these different forms that before we were not guided by,
Yes, all of those things require us to go inward in a way. And when we were independent, we only went outward. So we have to now there's this new phenomenon these last few years called forest bathing, where people think, oh, well, if they go to the forest, they get healed. Well, my gosh, how did we lose this? How did we lose this knowledge? That this was the natural way to be. So, as you say, our we don't only have to get in contact with other humans here, we have to anchor ourselves to all other species that we share the world with. So these are all the animal species, all the plant species, the mineral species, because 98% of our DNA are the same as animals. How can we think we're different than animals? And then that is built on the plant species, this plant. So all of this is already in us. So it's returning to, in a way, it's returning to common sense. It's we've let the mind and the ego mind of how to take away from the common sense of the earth's knowledge, the earth reality, our earth beingness.
But
And
at the same time,
sorry, I was just going to say, Henry calls us back to go back to your body, go into yourself, and listen to this knowledge, which is the same spirit.
Yes. There's also the invisible, what we don't see.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a major evolution, or are you saying we're going back to also something the Egyptian knew it, other civilization knew it, and we lost it, and we're getting back into it? So this is also quite natural for us, or it doesn't have to be difficult for us to tune in to the invisible light beings and other forces in the cosmos to support us in and this life force, to support us and guide us.
Yes. In a way, we're going back, but sometimes we have to go back to reclaim what we should not have left behind. And with that we go forward. It's this life force. It's yes, in Atlantis and in former ages, we were clairvoyant. But in those ages, we were dependent. So there are 3 stages in evolution. There's the dependence, when we were clairvoyant, when we were in Eden, united with spirit, but we are dependent on spirit telling us what to do. Then we move to independence, where we say, go away. It's like a little child. A child, first of all, nurses at the mother's breast and is dependent, and then all of a sudden at age 2, go away, go away, and we call it the terrible twos.
No, 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 no.
And they start wanting to be independent. But then they get more and more independent through the teenage years. But what happens when all of a sudden they become an adult? They become socialized again, and they think, oh, my parents aren't so bad, and I can get along with all these people. This is where we are. This is interdependence. We've worked through the dependent and independent stage. Now we're ready.
Yeah. It seems like a lot of us have already lived those stages in past lives. Most likely, can we say? Most of us. Even when we do past life regression, we have memories of this where we said, no, I won't wait for example, I recall this life, where I won't wait for God to give me approval or approbation. I should just move forward with this, instead of waiting and being. And so there seems to be all these learning curves that we have inherited through past lives. And here, how can we reclaim all the benefits of what positive and negative that we have harvest, or how can we harvest all these lives to be able to be, because it feels like these nowadays, because we're getting clear that there's no more time difference, and that we can, what we heal now, we heal on different levels, and that and we know that it has a huge impact for past and future generations and for the world. How can we best harvest? How can we best reclaim who we truly are, without having to see all these lives, without having to, do a huge, huge work because it's tiring?
Yes. Okay, I'll say it really easily. Every emotion, this is what I talk about in Conversation, or Good Morning, Henry.
This
Every
one.
every emotion has a frequency. So if we have the emotions of greed, anger, gluttony, lust, pride, go through the list. Then this has a very low frequency that keeps us in our ego, keeps us here in this third dimensional reality. But if we have emotions of forgiveness, compassion, love, understanding, acceptance, humility, go through the list. All of these increase our frequency. So ultimately, the answer, as you said, it's not here, it's here. It's really the heart is the organ of the transformation that transcends the information of the mind, which is the ego. We know this. Heart math in the States, you must have,
Interviewed them, yeah.
I wonder, well, they talk about this, that, the heart knows the truth way before the mind gets it. And so we know this even scientifically. So we only have to once again return here. And
Yeah.
it doesn't have to be as, I love this. I love this you did. Efforting. And no, in fact, I remember one saying in Chinese is the way to knowledge is you gain something every day. The way to wisdom is you let go of something every day. So it's purification is more of a let go of
Yes.
our old scripts, our old belief systems. So it's like Walt Whitman, the poet Walt Whitman said, you have to confront everything you've ever been taught and look to see, is it still truth? You see, truth, I believe, evolves. Truth evolves. We don't believe the same things 20 years ago that we believe now. No, as we get older, as you say, you evolve in wisdom. At least this is the hope.
Yeah, no, but I love because it feels like we're in this passage, in this transition where we're letting go is bigger than just as you say, intellectually trying to figure out what to do, because otherwise it's just it's a big cleaning up, purification process that
It
we're going
is.
through. To rebirth together the new Earth, can we say? Because some people say it's going to be another planet.
No, I believe it's the Earth on a higher frequency.
Yeah.
So we're here to help with the Earth. So yeah, and yeah, and it doesn't have to take this long.
No.
You know Misuru Emoto's books on messages from water, that only if we change how we think about water, we can take the same water and we can have a negative thought about it or a positive thought, and it forms two different crystals. This one is ugly, this one is beautiful. Well, we are 75% water. And the earth is 75% water. So, duh, like I said, common sense. The earth is 75% water. We're 75% water. How can we think we're different? And we know we can change it just like this by our thoughts. So
Can
we
we,
have deep belief in this.
yeah, but can we cohabiter, can we coexist with this lower vibration, or how does this work on a earth level? Can we, can both a fear frequency and love frequency live on the same planet?
I don't think so. But I think it is a gradual change that we go through. It's like right now we have a foot in each camp.
Yeah, no kidding.
We have a foot in the new age, where in theory, many people, including us probably, have these theories of, oh yes, I know that is true, and yes, I believe this and I want to move there. And then when it comes the day to pay our mortgage, we have the other foot saying, do I have enough money in the bank account? Um, so, but this is this is a transition.
Yes,
So it's like we go forward a bit, we go back a bit, but we have to congratulate ourselves
right.
when we take the forward step.
Yeah. But it feels, when we talk dark night of the soul, when we speak of dark night of the soul, it's literally so chaotic. And for having interviewed people that went through it, it's so the end of the end of the end, that and suddenly all of a sudden there's something else that emerges, like a rebirth.
Yes.
But how, what does that look like collectively? Because we spoke a little bit about that, but truly we can imagine that it could be, economical. Basically, the darkness is all around the earth all of a sudden, and we have to totally function in a different way. Maybe cultivate our own garden, exchange with each other. Money is not there anymore. Communicate differently. I mean, do you have information on what it really truly looks like? Because I think we have all phantasms, or not phantasm, but dark thoughts, or like, we don't know if it's premonitions or if it's just crazy ideas that go through our head that we receive from the collective or from darker forces.
I think it's a both and. It's not an either or, it's a both and. It's so if when we're in the lower frequencies, we're in the hell realm for sure, and we realize, oh yes, we are going to have to go through these hell realms in order to make it to the heaven realms.
Mm-hmm.
But all of this, I believe, is all in the astral reality. So when people die or in our dream state, because it's the same thing, we naturally go to the astral reality. We don't have a physical body, but we naturally go there. So now, some people, when they go there, they go more to the hell realms in the astral reality because they were all negative people. Some people go to more the heaven realms. We're in both right now, but they all are here with us now because there's no separation really. We're physical, we are also emotional and astral, we're also mental and causal, we're also soul. It's all us.
We're
So
holographic, you're
we're
saying.
holographic, absolutely. Like I say in the book, we are really a hologram, and we keep on programming ourselves. So this is what we know. We are 99.9% ether. We know it. Scientifically, we know it, and yet we continue to see ourselves as physical. Now, how stupid is this? So we are really a hologram. We keep on reprogramming. So reality can change like this. And for some people, it does. If people have a near-death experience, and I did when I was only 18, it changes like this.
Yes.
But for others, we go step by step by step by step. And this bit about a dark night, Lilou, can I talk about it for just a moment?
Yes.
Because if people reflect on it themselves, just individually, they may realize there are so many dark nights that they have already gone through, that we may have gone through a sexual dark night where either we haven't got a sexual partner or things don't work. We may have gone through an economic dark night where all of a sudden there's not enough money or we lose our jobs. We could have gone through an emotional dark night where our husband leaves us or our mother dies, our beloved mother dies. We could have gone through a mental dark night when all of a sudden we can't find the right word in the right language in an interview, or 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 somebody asks us to do something like you asking me to do Skype, and I have, oh no, I can't do Skype. So we go through this competence, a dark night. So if people look at it and they realize, hey, and I survived all that.
Right.
I not only survived, but I gained more confidence in myself, and I stretched what I thought I could do. So they have to reaffirm themselves, really.
Beautiful. What struck you the most writing this book? I mean, what was like super amazing, surprising, shocking, maybe even? What was the biggest revelations you had when you wrote it? Because you've wrote a lot of books and you have already great knowledge. So I was wondering, what were the things that were like, whoa, this is like huge discovery right there.
For me personally, the huge discovery was that my body elemental, my body consciousness was identical with the Holy Spirit and the Divine Mother, because I had to face my own feelings of unworthiness, that I wasn't worthy of, and this touches me, that I wasn't worthy to write on behalf of the Holy Spirit. So this was, and I think this is why Henry called himself Henry from the beginning of the book, so that I could feel comfortable and get all the information before this revelation sunk in. And the fact that yes, that we can change our entire cellular memory like this.
Yeah. What is your relationship to the divine now?
Oh, very, very close. It is, it's always been close, but it's been out there.
Yes.
Now it's in here.
Beautiful. Well, I think this was amazing, and there's lots of other things to talk with you about. But I think this is a great first interview, and I look forward doing another one with you. It was really awesome to have this conversation and get to know you and share this with as many people around the world as possible.
I love your energy, and I love this enthusiasm. And this is one of the things people have to have still. Keep enthusiasm, keep the joy going.
Yes. Thank you so much. I look forward to reading your other books. This one is the French version, and you'll have it in English soon?
This fall, probably October, November, December.
Oh, yeah, so this is
In
coming up
English,
soon.
in English, Good Morning, Henry. And
I
in
love
French, why don't you say the title?
Conversation avec l'esprit du corps humain. Traverser la nuit obscure de l'âme individuelle et collective. Beautiful cover, amazing content. Thank you so much, Tanis.
Thank you so much, Lilou.
Much love and much love to all of you. Please share this video if it spoke to your heart and your body. Thank you. I'll see you soon. Much love. Bye.
Bye-bye. Au revoir.